It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
This is in the words of Warren himself, never bet against America.
Now, he put the A in there.
He did.
That one's almost like a slogan on a T-shirt. Yep. Never bet against America. I mean, that's what even and Daniel put together a cute girl holding an American flag. I think that's awesome. This is another one of those I talked about earlier. Warren has several themes he always puts in the letter to shareholders. One is being a contrarian. Another is do not count out America and the innovation, the spirit of success that seems like we have with creating opportunities here.
And what I think is amazing is that, in my opinion, no one can quite tell a story like Uncle Warren. And so he kind of walks you through some American success stories. He walks through Jack Ringwalt of National Indemnity, Rose Blumkin of Nebraska Furniture Mart, Jim Clayton of Clayton Homes, and then Jim Haslam of Pilot. And he kind of tells you the stories of these entrepreneurs and the businesses that they started, founded, or ran, and what they turned into, and how they were able to take a little bit of risk, a little bit of opportunity early on, and turn it into something absolutely incredible.
And he even put a quote in there. Go ahead and read the quote to him too, Bo.
He says, "Today, many people forge similar miracles throughout the world, creating a spread of prosperity that benefits all of humanity. In its brief 232 years of existence, however, there has been no incubator for unleashing human potential like America. Despite some severe interruptions, our country's economic progress has been breathtaking."
Well, I think this is good for everybody to listen to this, because a lot of you will say, look, the stock market's been on a tear for the last 10 years. Do we even count 2020? Because, yes, it lost 30 to 35%, but it made it back so quick, you can almost forget it.
Sure.
So a lot of you guys are calling the top. You're saying, man, we have nowhere to go but, down. So why would you go into the stock market? And I want my young people especially, because you just don't have enough time or experience in the markets that you could hear somebody tell you that. Or hear an older person who doesn't understand how the financial markets work and don't realize you're buying into the prosperity of the future instead of playing the stock market like it's some type of casino game. It's nothing like that whatsoever, and you could get dissuaded into letting your dollars work. And that's why we have a key takeaway, which is it's not slowing down. And I specifically asked Daniel to put the SpaceX rocket in the background. I mean, we could have put the COVID vaccine on there. I think there's so many things. If I look at when the first iPod was announced, I mean, I've got my iPod behind us.
Here on the wall.
And then you think about like the iPhone came out, I think in 2007. I mean, and then the iPad, and then you look at we're landing rockets back. They're coming back where they came from. I mean, guys, it's amazing the world we live in. And by the way, it's not slowing down. Innovation is actually accelerating. And here's what I get excited as being a capitalist that figures out how do you take and invest money and turn a little sliver of that opportunity, of that success into your own financial opportunity and success for your family. It's just mind-blowing how easy this is in today's time with index funds, investing, low cost. It's exciting.
And I think sometimes we get lost in the currentness of today, and we forget it actually is accelerating, and there's proof in that. If you want to look at like technical innovations, thank you, Daniel, for this, dating all the way back to like 3000 BC, you can see that things moved fairly slowly, right? Technical innovation.
No, wait a minute. You went through that way too quick, because we have podcast listeners too.
Okay,
so we have to slow down, because it
down.
needs to not only be a visual element, this needs to have some audio components. Up until, look at 3000 BC is when papyrus was invented. The first time we could write.
Sure.
And then we had the pyramids sometime between 3000 BC to 2000. We had the pyramids, which nobody really knows still how they did that. Pretty amazing back then. But then fast forward thousands of years, and then past, we get to AD, and you can see the printing press was invented in 1440. So it took us a long time to pound out papyrus and turn it into where we actually have a printing press and can automate printing, and then you fast forward a few more hundred years, it's not until 1793 that we have the cotton gin. So you can, separate the seeds from cotton so you can manufacture easier. This is hundreds of years, and that's why we have slides with only one or two things on it. And then fast forward into the 1900s, when you look at the 20th century, you're like, whoa. There was a lot of stuff that happened in the 20th century.
Yeah, I think what's incredible is Warren talks about how the economic progress that has taken place over the last 232 years in this country has been amazing. I'm one of those folks. I'm of the proponent. It's going to get even more exciting, and I think it's going to continue moving more fast. And I think this is an amazing time to be alive for the things that we will see 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 years from now. I mean, I remember coming up through school, like getting used to like the internet and computers, and now I have a smartwatch on my wrist that can basically do anything I want it to do. It's unbelievable. I don't think that that's going to slow down.
Well, I think you could make the assumption that it's compressing, and the fact that what was 1,000 years, we had more innovation in 100 years. Now you're going to see what happens, what normally it would be in the 20th century, what took 50 years worth of innovation, you'll see in a 5 to 7 year cycle. So this thing is actually accelerating. As long as we don't create artificial intelligence that kills us, we should be all right. And there's going to be an opportunity for you to take a little bit of your time and your labor, invest, and turn that into that great, big, beautiful tomorrow. That's what we're talking about with creating success for yourself.
And what I think is interesting is that the level and the speed of innovation and the access to it that we all have creates kind of another exciting acceleration. If you look at the number of millionaires in the United States, now this is just back from 1997, so right before Y2K, all the way through the end of 2019, even that has accelerated. In 1997, there were 5.3 million, not 5.3,
millionaires.
5.3 million millionaires. And then in 2010, there were 8.4 million millionaires. And then as we closed out 2019, there were 12.7 million millionaires. And now, yeah, some of this can be accounted for inflation before you come up with those suggestions, but not that much. This is because people are having access to be able to invest and grow and participate in this innovation that's taking place. It's just like he says, it benefits all of humanity. What we're seeing, we've seen this like firsthand here in the United States.
So get excited for the future. That's what. Be an optimist. By the way, we have an upcoming show where we survey our successful clients, the millionaires that are amongst us, and guess what? They're optimists, guys. This is confirmed. Get excited about what the future holds for you and your financial security.